You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.
Stop! Where are we going?
The Sternberg!
Don't get left behind. We're waiting for you here at the Sternberg Museum, where there's always new opportunities for
Discovery under the dome.
Hello, and welcome to You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. My name is Dana Stanton, and I'm the coordinator of early childhood grants for USD 489. And with me today is my good friend Susan. Now, Susan, tell me your last name.
Schlichting.
Yes, because I've messed it up for 3 takes now. So, Susan, tell us, what organization do you work for and what do you do there?
I work with K-State Research and Extension here in Ellis County, and I work with the 4-H program.
Wonderful. Now, today we're going to talk about a specific program for 4-H, and tell us what the name of that program is.
It is the Cloverbud Program. It is a great program for 5- and 6-year-olds who are wanting to get involved with the 4-H program.
Now, tell us a little more. How many times would the Cloverbud program meet?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about how it's structured here in Ellis County. In our county, we have 8 4-H clubs, and within each of those 4-H clubs, they have a leader or volunteer who's been trained with the Cloverbud materials, and they lead activities during the club meetings. So typically, a member, a 5- or 6-year-old would come, and they would be there for the opening where we do the flag salutes and the 4-H pledge and maybe the 4-H demonstrations, and then they go off to another place in the building or another area in the meeting room and do some activities that are more geared to their age group. And so they get involved with those kinds of things, and then they come back for the refreshments and the recreation at the end of the meeting. So they do some things with the major
with the big
4-H group. Yep. So they come along with the brothers and sisters if they have brothers and sisters, and it's not a separate meeting, a separate time where they have to come together and meet separate. So.
Now, when you say they go off, what kind of activities would be specific to the Cloverbuds, to the 5- and 6-year-olds?
Well, we have a whole curriculum of different kinds of things about food and nutrition, things about our environment, maybe about taking care of pets, learning some of the basics about 4-H, maybe exploring about music or nature, and just a wide variety of activities. And we leave it up to that leader to decide what the activity of the month is. But the clubs do meet monthly throughout the year, and would say probably 8 to 10 of those meetings would have a special activity for Cloverbuds.
Okay. Now, I know throughout 4-H, parent involvement is always a key component. How are parents involved with Cloverbuds?
Well, they can be involved in several ways. We've had a number of parents who have stepped up as those volunteer leaders within the program, and so maybe they've got younger children and they take them along with the other friends and go back and do those activities. It may be just supporting that with additional learning activities at home that fit along with that theme for the month.
Now, you mentioned this would be perfect for families who have an older child in 4-H and a little brother and sisters now going to finally get to go too, but it's also open to it's the first time for their experience with 4-H, so there's no requirement that you have an older sibling.
Correct. It used to be, we called the program a tag-along program, and you tagged along with your older brother or sister. But there are a number of families out there that this is their first child getting involved with the 4-H program, and so it gives them that opportunity to be involved as well. And so there is not that requirement to have a big brother or big sister involved. And come and join us and learn what 4-H is about.
Yeah. Now that kind of is a good segue into, for those who aren't aware or aren't familiar with 4-H, kind of an overview. What is 4-H? What does it do for our youth?
Okay, well, 4-H is a youth organization for 7 to 18-year-olds, and we are building life skills with our youth. They're learning some of the basic project skills that you might see exhibited at the county fair, things like cooking and sewing and raising animals. But those things are really tools to help teach those kids responsibility, building relationships with others in a good way, reaching out into the community to help serve. There are a number of things that we're working to build. We call those life skills that are things that kids will use all of their lives in every day-to-day activity.
Now, I have to tell you, Susan, the first time I ever gave a presentation in front of a group of people people was at my local 4-H club in Buffalo, Oklahoma, and I think I gave a presentation on birdhouses or something like that. But it was a really important skill for little ones to learn how to speak in front of a group of people. So I mean, those are very valuable experiences.
Oh, that is huge. And in the Cloverbud program, we don't necessarily require that they do speeches. They're pretty young for that. But in some of the clubs, they found that they give that opportunity. And if the kids want to get up and maybe do a show and tell, they can start building those communication skills. And the earlier they start building them, the much easier it is for them. And some of our kids that are currently in high school are telling me how, wow, this is a breeze, or in college, this is a breeze because I've been doing it since I was 7 or 8, and the other kids are so stressed out, and and it's just nothing. It's normal to them.
I know, and there's a lot of great organizations in our community, but sometimes the pocketbook is something that will hold back a parent. What is the cost to participate in 4-H or Cloverbuds?
There isn't a registration fee at this time. We are very fortunate we've been able to keep that cost very low, and we'll see down the road how budgets go. We may have to do that. But at this time, it doesn't cost anything other than maybe the project material expenses. And so if you are doing a livestock project, of course, you've got livestock feed and vet bills and all those things that can get fairly expensive. But you can also do baking projects and things that are very, very inexpensive. And so it's your family's decision on how much you want to invest in the program. It's more an investment of time, a commitment to come and be a part of a group and to support that group's activity.
Now, say there's a parent out there that wants to learn more. They're not exactly sure which meeting they should go to. They need to contact you?
Yes, they can contact us at our office at 601 Main, or go to our website, ellis.ksu.edu, and we do have a listing of all 8 clubs. It tells what day of the month they meet typically, what time of the day they meet, and it gives you an idea of different schedules and how that might fit with your family's thing. And what we suggest is you go out and you visit the clubs, maybe go to 2 or 3 and see what's going to be the best fit for your family.
Awesome. So we'll put that website on the bottom of the screen, and they can contact you if they have more information.
You bet.
Susan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Dana.
You've been watching You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. Parents, remember, you are your child's first and best teacher. Thank you.
You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.